Ah, welcome traveler. Come in, take a seat and put up your feet. Today, we're diving into a game called Foundation, a gridless medieval city building game. This is part 9 in our multi-part series, and if you'd like to see more of this, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let's get cooking. So in today's episode, we're going to look at filling in this gap, or at least starting to fill it in. And we're going to make use of the castle feature. So we're going to go through here to build, and you're going to see that the castle is over here. Now, I did unlock this over here in the Kingdom tab of the progression book. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to set up a very simplistic castle with some training equipment and start building up an army. We're going to try rack up enough points to progress through this and to construct a more impressive castle. So what I'm thinking of doing is setting up something along here, probably over here, just reasonably small. And then we'll set up some training facilities over here. And what I want to do is have this castle actually on this wall. So we'll have an entrance over here through from this gate. And then we'll have another entrance on the inside over here so that people can enter on either side. And we will also eventually look at setting up our sword and spear and bow and armor production. All those facilities will also set up inside this walled off area. So we basically have a military compound. And then as we unlock higher tiers of the castle, we can look at expanding this, making this castle more impressive, as well as eventually actually coming all the way over through to this little island here and building a very, fancy castle here. And then we also have some castle plans for these rocks, these little ore areas over here that we can also start building some castles onto. But that's far off in the future. For now, we just want to try focus on this. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to quickly throw down a design and then we'll discuss what I'm actually setting up here. Right, well, there we are. As you can see, we've built a very small keep here with just a single barracks building as well. We have an entrance over on this side so that they have easy access from this side of the wall, and then obviously on this side as well. We have a little bit of a decorated barracks area with tents and general amenities, and then enough training dummies so that we can at least train up a small force that we can start using on the missions and expeditions. Right, so we'll let this construct, and then our end goal for this is to rack up enough points so we can actually spend it here in the progression book. Get the spear warfare, bow warfare, and the sword warfare. And we're just going to try unlock a couple of decorations and so forth as well. And then what we want to do is eventually come through and actually use that army, send them out on missions, and get resources as rewards for those missions. It's a great way to get things that you might be lacking on a little bit. For example, maybe you're not generating enough food, or you're lacking some certain key resources that you don't have access to on your map, and it's a great way to actually get that. Another thing I want to address is that you see our serfs are leaving every now and then, and that is because of the refined food and the monastic food shortages. So we will need to increase the refined food and monastic food generation. At the moment we have a lot of monks and nuns over here in our monastery. As you can see, there are just so many of them, so they should actually be generating enough of it, but for some reason we're just not having that stock. I think perhaps they just need some time to actually build up the storehouses themselves. But for the refined food, we are actually going to look at in the future, perhaps in the next episode, setting up some more farms over on this open piece of land. And perhaps we'll even consider expanding out a little bit here to get through to these mines over here and filling in. Maybe we'll do this entire piece of land as additional farms, so that will hopefully resolve why our serfs are leaving. But we do have a good influx of people as well. As you can see, yes, it's still average immigration. That is okay, we're not losing a lot of people as it is, but we can always just come through to our royal book, go over to the buildings tab, see what it needs workers, and I think that we're definitely going to put them into the charcoal burner and the mines. and that should be fine. Now as for here, you can see the castle keep has no guardsmen. That is because once this is constructed, we will actually have to assign some people to join our castle and to join our army. And we can actually use them on missions, send them out on expeditions and things like that. Right, well, we're just going to let this build up, and then we will be back once that's finished. Right, once your keep is actually constructed, you can go over through to this, and you'll see that it says here, add a company. You can select that, and you'll see it says a new company has been created and formed. You can then go over here to manage it, and you can actually come in and I believe you can rename it and just customize a little bit, put a little different icon on for the company itself, things like that. And then obviously what we want to do is come in and actually assign some guardsmen to it. So now we will have some people actually joining this rank, and then that will tell you also what they're currently doing, how far their training is, what weapon they're using, what rank they are. So this is a good way to kind of manage your military, and you can have obviously different companies over here and send different ones on different missions. So it's quite nice. You can also come over here and actually just change their duty. So instead of going on missions, they could be patrolling or they can be guarding. You can set, what exactly you want them to use, things like that. So I think this is a very nice feature. A lot of customization is available in this feature as well. So it's very nice. As you can see, they're slowly training up. And what we can do is we can actually come here, and I believe that you should be able to actually, yes, you can see here, you can actually view them and see how they are training. Now, they don't have any weapons yet. We haven't made weapons yet, so they're just, taking punches and swings at these training dummies. They don't actually have weapons to train with yet, but we'll get that sorted out really soon, as that is definitely the next thing we need to focus on. So as your soldiers within your different companies start getting trained up, you'll see that this bar increases, and eventually they will reach 100% training. And then you will also have to make sure that you assign them with a spear, and not only assign the spear, but actually go over through to your armory and make sure that in the armory you have your spears selected there to actually be stored inside there. This will make sure that they have easy access to it. And then what you can do is you can monitor this, and as they're equipping these spears and getting fully trained, the might of your company will actually increase drastically. And eventually it will hit a maximum, but you do actually get for example here we have a quest to get it up to 40. So there we go, 48 out of 48. So you'll see it will increase drastically as your people are equipping the different weapons. And then what we can do is we can actually deploy them on a military mission. Now in order to do this, you'll see at the top here you have your battle history, your combatant list, which is all of your soldiers. Then obviously the companies where your soldiers are busy serving in, their different duties, so forth. And then of course you have the mission list as well. So for example, we're going to start off with this one, as this is the first mission that we've unlocked. The rest are still locked, unfortunately. We'll select this, and you can then select which company is going to actually try to fulfill this mission. So we'll select there, and it'll tell you, how many people you're sending, how many are wounded, the average might of your company on this mission, and then of course your probability of success, and you can deploy the company itself. Now what you want to do is, if you're starting off a game and going directly into castle building, then you want to have a look here at which of these resources are actually available from each mission. So you'll see here we're getting gold coins, we're getting some influence as well. But if you're starting a new game and you're not generating your own resources yet, or at least not to the degree that you want, then you want to see which of these missions is actually giving the resource that you're going to be requiring the most. But we're going to just send them out on here. So we say deploy company, and you'll see that they will then actually start heading out, and your people actually leave your land and they'll go out into the world and fulfill the mission requirements, and they'll come back once it's finished, and well, hopefully they are successful. Let's just have a look here. Yeah, sure, we'll grab that. And yeah, so you just want to have a look at that, and we are just going to let that run, obviously. Let that mission fulfill, come through to the progress bar once we have some more, and grab some more of these things. For now, I do want to have a look at what we can get here. So we can actually get some castle fortifications, some castle architecture. What I really want is I actually want these three first, so we can start setting up our production facilities. So I'm going to go for the spear warfare. We'll do that first, and then as soon as we have enough coins, we'll come in and we'll unlock both of these as well. Spears, bows, and swords. Next we'll go to Provisioner and then the Royal Courtier. But those we will just have to wait for some more points on. You see we can't get them yet, but that's okay, because the most important thing is that we at least have these three buildings now. The Spearmaker's Hut, the Bower's Hut, and the Swordsmith. Now each of these will make use of, you see, wood and iron. Here we have wood, cloth, and tools, and iron and coal and tools. So we want to make sure that we're going to set these up, and we're also going to set up enough storehouses to actually hold the resources that they're going to be using very nearby. And we're going to come in and just build these right over here. We have a little bit of delay because we have so much happening on this map that it's quite difficult for everything to just be processed. Something I wish that they would do a little bit of something with from the dev side, but it's understandable. So we just built that, and we're going to come in and just grab a swordsmith as well. There we go. Just need to find a nice little spot for this. I think that that should work quite nicely over here. We have a little production area right here, and we can look at setting up the storehouses there, and we have enough space still for other castle improvements that we want to do in the long term. Right, well, let's quickly get this to construct, and I'm quickly going to throw down some storehouses as well, and then we'll be right back once that's done. An additional thing to keep in mind with the missions is that by sending your companies out on a mission, they'll actually gain experience on said mission and increase in rank. So you'll see at the moment we have a militiaman rank 0 and a militiaman rank 1, and these ranks will increase, you know, as they get experience from missions, and it's based also on promotions as well. So once they hit the highest rank possible within their, you know, current, you know, militiaman, then you need to promote them up to a new, you know, bracket for them to increase in ranks again. So it's quite a nice system, quite a lot of, you know, fun that you can have here just simply on this. So what we've gone ahead and done here is we've unlocked the Provisioner now, and that allows us to actually make food for our armies. However, this will also require that we build an additional armory just to store the food, and to also build somewhere to actually make the food as well. So I think what we're going to do is set that up over here. We'll build a little separate castle that focuses purely on making war rations. So I'm going to quickly throw down a design, and then we'll be right back to check it out. And there we are, a very small and simplistic little building that's just going to function as the Provisioner. And we're just going to say here what we wanted to cook with. What I actually want to do is eventually build multiple of these Provisioners on each other, so we will reserve this space specifically for this. We may move the entrance eventually though, but we'll have multiple of these Provisioners, and then we can actually assign it with different, you know, ingredients that they're going to make use of. For this one, we'll just say cook with berry and boar, and once we have, let's check, there we are, some people coming in, we can just assign a cook, and now it will hopefully just, you know, start generating some food for us. Right, we have enough points that we can actually unlock the Royal Courtier as well now. And what we want to do with that is build, you see a new sub-building is now available. So we're just going to come over here to our castle, and we're going to just edit this and throw on a sub-building onto that, the Royal Office. Now, we're not going to do anything too fancy at the moment. Later on we will be upgrading this, but for now I just want to throw something down it's at least a little bit separated, and we can just decorate it and just keep in mind what it actually is. So I'm just going to set down a little tower over here. There we go. And we'll just build that, and that will act as our royal office for the time being. Eventually we will obviously be expanding all the way into this open area here. And the provisioner, we will also build additional buildings going out. But for now, what we definitely also want to do is with the provisioner is we want to just make sure that we are also having a armory. Here we go. So what we do is we're going to throw down an armory here on the side of this gate. We'll come in at a later stage and just, tidy these up a little bit. I think for the time being that should work. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll just set this through to be a storage space for all of the food that will be generated in the armory itself. So we're just going to let that build, and we're going to come back here to the army, and you can see that this over here, this company of Lancers is actually actively on this mission the whole time, and they're generating this. So they're going onto the mission, they come back, and then they go back out on patrol the whole time, back and forth, until eventually the strategic patrol mission is completed. Once that does happen, we should have quite a lot of points over here unlocked. We can get the remaining 5 pieces over here. I'm not really going to worry about treasury, as we have that capability with other buildings. But what I do want to focus on is this the castle rustic architecture, the castle fortification, and then we also want to go in for some, the splendor package, a little bit of decoration, make things look nice. And once we can get those 3 set down, we can really look at improving our castle drastically and trying to unlock this next tier. But in order for that to happen, we have quite a little bit that needs to build here. Armory, royal office. We need to get enough people coming in, new immigrants, so we can actually fill in the available workspaces here and start generating all of these spears, bows, and swords that we're going to need for our future armies. So we're going to let this run for quite a while, get all of that sorted out, and we'll be back when we're ready to look at some more expansion. And finally, our first mission has actually been completed. So this now unlocks the additional missions that you can see over here, and we can look at doing them as well. Obviously, we do have some more difficult ones that are still locked behind the skirmish season 1. We don't quite want to jump on that yet. I think we'll first have a look at just doing these. And the nice thing with them is they will actually generate more food for us. If we have a look over here, our food is a little bit lacking. And if we look over here, we know that our refined food is drastically lacking. So it might actually be in our interest to really look at focusing on this mission to try and get the refined food. So we'll get a modest reward of refined food. It's not bad. And if we look in future, there's actually quite a lot more additional resources as well. So we may actually look at doing this one straight off the bat. You can see our might is enough. Our people have actually received a significant amount of experience from doing these quests, up to rank 2 now. And they just need to train up a little bit, but they're quite strong, and I think that they should be capable enough to do this. Actually, no, it says that the success rate is impossible. The probability is impossible. Ooh, never mind. Sorry, I didn't have it selected, but it's in any case average with them selected as well. So we will need to have a look at making them quite a bit stronger before we send them out on this mission itself. So I'm going to just leave them on there for now, and we're just going to have them repeat that mission just so they can get some experience. And in the meantime, we will look at expanding this further. Now you may notice that I have actually built a little bit here onto the royal office, and that's because, again, if you assign a courtier, this percentage will increase based on how much you're building. So we want to get hopefully one that increases the training speed, and we will increase that percentage simply by editing the building. Very easy trick is to actually make use of the braziers, you just put a whole bunch of braziers on top of each other. Alternatively, what you can also do is just find whichever decoration you really, really like. I'm going to go for, let's see, this one's 5, 7. I'm going to go for this one. And you can actually just hide them inside here. So I'm just going to go and throw down a whole bunch of these inside the building itself. So we're not making use of this decoration as intended. But we can just say apply the changes, and now 210, I believe it should be 210. Let's quickly see. Roundabouts 210 polished stone will then be used on that decoration, and that will increase the percentage that our royal courtier is giving us. So right now it's happiness less impacted. Not too worried about that. Happiness we can always boost through other means. Can't really do this right now. Happiness can be, done through other means. What I really want is that training speed. The training speed bonus that we can get from this far surpasses the rest, and it will really help our army to become very strong very quickly, and we can send them out on more advanced missions. Right, so purely through adding a couple of additional decorations here onto the royal office, we're able to boost this from a measly, tiny percentage to more than 100% increase. So we definitely want to go for this combatant training speed. We could also go for the job learning. Sorry about that. As you can see, these pieces being constructed will close this menu as this amount just increases every time. So we are just going to let this finish building the last little couple of additional stuff on here. But we are going to be taking the training speed to get our combatants stronger a lot quicker. Let's have a look here. Sure, we can do that. And some additional people that we're obviously just going to come and assign here to our industries. Let's have a look. All of that's full. Fantastic. Now, something to keep in mind is with these buildings is you do actually have to come in and assign for some reason to the swordsmith the iron swords. I think it's because you get steel eventually, and that could, influence what exactly you're making here. But don't quote me on that. That's just what I'm guessing. Right, so we'll just wait for a couple extra units to come through, and then we can look at assigning them there. But for the most part, I am quite happy with that. And we can actually look now at going over through to the progression here. See, we've unlocked all of those. We're not going to worry about the treasury for now, but we do want this, which has so much we can't actually see what it is called. But for that, we do need 20 points, 20 of these kingdom influence coins. So we might have to wait a while for that. And then obviously we can get additional things as well. But we really want this one. We want the stone castle walls, perhaps. These aren't drastically important. This is quite cool though. The command post just looks really nice. And then obviously these additional buildings here, the healing house, the mess hall, the private quarters, these will make your army function a lot better. Mess hall is somewhere that your army can eat at. The healing house is obviously where you will heal your combatants after they come back from a mission. And then the private quarters, that's for knights and nobilities. It's your higher rank soldiers as you increase their rank and promote them. And then here you can see we can, assign pole arms, recurve bows, and steel swords. We unlock it, and I believe that that is the additional thing that you would go through on these production buildings and actually assign them. So instead of the short bow, we would then assign the recurve bow, which is a superior weapon. And you can see that all of these also need steel as well in order to manufacture that. And in order to do that, we are going to have to look at how to actually get steel. Because right now, I don't think we are actually producing any. Go here, we can have a look. Yeah, we're not actually producing any steel right now, but we will be. We will be in the future. Right, well, let's just try get enough of these coins together. Try to look at getting this done. And in order to do that, we will probably have to do some more advanced missions. And in order to do additional missions, we will need more companies. And in order to get more companies, we will need to build additional castles. So we're going to set up tiny little expansions all the way over here and over here. Now, what exactly are we going to do here? I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to quickly throw it down and show you exactly what we're going to do here. As you can see here, what we've gone and done is just established a small barracks, armory, and a bow encampment over on this rock over here. Now, the nice thing is that you can actually clip your buildings into features such as this rock. So we know that we can build buildings over walls, as we've seen here, but we can also, just build a building going over a rock, into a rock, have pieces sticking out, and in that way you can kind of fool the game into looking as if it's a castle actually built on top of this mountain as opposed to, just out in the open field. The only caveat to this is that you have to have the entrance accessible. So as you can see here, the entrance here is accessible. Just going to go and remove there we go, just so you can see that. So the entrance is accessible from the outside, and as we unlock additional improvements and better looking castle pieces, we can come and just expand onto the remainder of this rock and actually build a castle that towers above it and looks as if it's built onto this rocky outcrop. You can get some really cool structures that are built like that. And then obviously with the mines as well that are around here, it will look as if the mines are actually carving the castle out of the stone itself, or getting the resources right next to the castle in order to build the castle itself. You can get some really cool looking things by playing around with this, this idea that you can actually have pieces going inside. For example, if I take this piece over here, see, we can drag it all the way inside the mountain, as long as it's connected with an interior access somehow to the remainder, which we can always come back and check. Yes, it is. We can come and move this over through to, say, there, and we can just raise this up a little bit. And you see, you can have stuff happening like that. Now, I don't quite want this piece here at the moment, to be honest, because I don't want to have too much of this castle built out of these starter pieces. So I'm actually going to just delete that, and I'm only going to have them construct that. Right, so we'll just let this be built, and then we can assign an additional company that will specialize just in the bow, and we'll build an additional one all the way over here eventually as well. And over here we'll specialize just in the sword itself. And we'll probably have the entrance here and end up building a big castle on this rock. So a lot of cool things that you can do with the placement of buildings. If we go through to our army, you can see that, okay, they're still busy here. They've become very strong. We have most of them ranking up. This one person is struggling to rank up, but that's okay. They'll get there eventually. You can see what they're doing, how their training is doing, and the battle history as well. We can see that we've had one successful mission and the performance of it. Nobody lost, everyone made it through, and the rewards that you would get from it as well. So very cool function. Let's go through here quick. Still 20, we have 13 at the moment, so it might be quite a while until we unlock those additional building parts, but I'm quite happy with what we have. We have also gone here and just added on a little bit of an expansion here. We're just doing very basic construction inside this area. As you'll see here, we're doing very basic castle construction. We might do a more impressive one over there, but I don't want to do too much impressive stuff over here because I want this to actually look like it's this industry area, this training area, and then we will definitely be building a purely advanced construction piece castle on this little island. So very cool things to come with the castle building, but we do just need to get through what we've currently thrown down, and then we can look at, advancing a little bit through the progression book over here. Lots of cool things to unlock in this tab alone. But that is unfortunately all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as that would greatly help the channel. If you'd like to be kept updated as to new videos being released, then please hit that notification bell. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or requests for future videos, leave a comment below and let us know. Until next time, this is Roast Temp. Keep cooking.